Yeah, we out here. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. My name is Filip, Latocha, and today we are going to be talking about the Nike Air Zoom Tempo Next Percent after 100 plus miles. Yes, this is my third pair of this shoe, and I finally got it to 100 plus miles. So it's a big day at my house today because we got lots to talk about, in particular with this shoe, and I've got some interesting opinions and thoughts as we have crossed this milestone in the life of the mangoes. So anyways, if you like the videos, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Definitely follow me on Strava, Zwift, wherever social media platforms and race running logging platforms you use. I'm available on a lot of them, so be sure to follow me on there. And yeah, comment down below your thoughts on the Tempo Next Percent as you have it at 100 plus miles, your thoughts and opinions on what you like, dislike as far as it goes, and yeah, maybe we'll bounce our thoughts on this shoe during the course of the video. So, without further ado, let's talk about it. So first things first, for those who don't watch these videos and don't know the specs of the shoe, we'll just give you a quick rundown of what's going on. Basically, the shoe is about 9 to 9.5 ounces, which obviously puts it on the heavier end of most running shoes you will buy. That puts it at about 250 to 270 grams if you look at that metric for weighing the shoe. The offset from heel to toe is about 8 to 10 millimeters, so it's a slightly higher stack, of course. But what doesn't get factored in my opinion, is the fact that even though if you lay the shoe flat, there's this arch cutoff right here that makes the shoe kind of tilt upward this way. So in a sense, you kind of lose a slight offset, even though the shoe is still raised and doesn't fully touch with this heel area. That's besides the point. So next, let's talk about just the overall specs. So we'll start with the bottoms and work our way to the top. So of course, we got a React heel, which is great for when you land a midfoot and have a slight heel drop, per se. There are some people who do that. I might have been doing that a little bit. I guess we'll find out when we look underneath the shoe. So React is very soft, very comfortable. It doesn't like feel like a rock when you hit. It doesn't sink when you hit, as opposed to the Alpha Fly with the Zoom X. And then speaking of Zoom X, we do have a layer of Zoom X that runs through here and then splits between these Air Zoom pods and pockets. And then we have a section of Air Zoom right there in the forefoot of the shoe. And of course, this mango colored foam here is React foam, which is nice for your foot to basically sink directly into, with the insole of the shoe being the layer protecting you from actually touching the React foam. Because we all know the React foam is poisonous. It's really not. Yeah, moving on. So the upper of the shoe, of course, is Flyknit, and starting from the heel, working down to the toe box of the shoe, the Flyknit gets thinner as it goes. Of course, this thick piece for the heel is very nice. It's very snug. Of course, if you've used Flyknit in the past, you know that Flyknit is very unique and it has its ups and downs. But for the most part, the more you use it, the more you get comfortable with it, the easier it is to put your foot into the shoe, get more snug in terms of tying the shoe as well. So overall, it's an experience. You have to use Flyknit a couple of times before you're officially, I would say, acquainted with it. And then, of course, in the midfoot area here, we do have an inner layering within the Flyknit, which obviously helps lock in the shoe when you've tied it. I have some concerns with that. And, of course, here in this toe box area, of course, the Flyknit's pretty thin, it's pretty translucent, pretty flexible. We do have some paint and some kind of like plastic overall here. That's essentially just keeping the toe box from ripping through the shoe. As you can see, I've got some wear and tear here close to some of my toes. Again, we're going to talk about this all as we get across through these specs. What else? That's probably good enough with the upper. I mean, I guess also we can discuss the asymmetric shoelacing, which is facing to the outside of the shoe. Nike's been doing this for a little while. Nothing new, nothing unusual, just kind of how they go about their technologies. The very bottoms, of course, as we discussed with the foams, we do have these Air Zoom pockets, which is the core technology that this Tempo Next Percent and the Alpha Fly do use. Essentially having this compression and decompression of an air pocket with this covering that's kind of plastic, kind of this bubbly-esque material, which helps you basically compress when you hit the ground and decompress when you lift your foot to give you some extra spring, extra shock absorption while you're running. And overall, you know, it's a hit or miss technology. A lot of people do really like it overall, but in the Tempo Next percent, people really do have conflicting opinions on it because of what is basically going on the bottoms. So in the bottom area, of course, we do have the rubbering here for the heel, which is nice for landing and preventing you from having direct impact to the React and keeping its life longer. And then we, of course, have this big rubber plate, of course, in this piece of the shoe, which is, it's slightly different from the Alpha Fly in the sense that it doesn't have this cutout here, which shows the carbon fly plate. Rather, there's a nylon plate, fly plate technology in this shoe, which is just supposed to be, I guess, the step down from the carbon plate. Probably a money-saving method of building the shoe. Who knows? Ultimately, nylon plate, plastic plate, whichever you choose to call it, it's doing its job. It's fine. It's not perfect. This is not meant to be like a marathon racing shoe, but I've made it previously known in other videos that you could use this, in my opinion, up to a 10, maybe even a 15K race, and you would still have a good time with it. Would you break any PRs? I'm not totally sure, but you can still have race pace quality out of the shoe in shorter distances. That's in a different video topic. I'm sure I'll link it somewhere here or wherever we have links for videos and stuff and whatnot. So, okay, let's talk about the shoe after 100 plus miles. First things first, let us, of course, do the traditional rubber assessment on the bottoms. So, this is what we've got going on. As you probably saw as I was demonstrating the shoe, we've got something nice and significant to talk about there. And here is the left foot. And yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. And I'll show the heels as well. We'll show the forefoots. Okay, cool. So let's start, of course, with my favorite shoe, the one that we've been discussing multiple times on this channel. So, of course, when I discussed it with the overall gray pair of this shoe, I returned it after 50 plus miles when we had this happen to the shoe, where the pod is basically ripping through the rubber. Obviously, as you can imagine, as you continue running with the shoe, this is what happens. It just keeps going, you know? It's not going to get any better than this. So at this point in time, you can kind of see that the rubber has definitely softened up in this particular corner area, and it's ultimately allowing for the pod to continue cutting through this rubber on the shoe. It's basically kind of melting, maybe meshing together in a way, as you can kind of see here, and that's probably due to the friction while you're running on road, maybe light gravel if it's in the way. I'm guessing it's going to pretend like it's fusing for a little while, and then what's going to happen is, as you continue running and breaking this upper layer of the rubber and exposing the pod more, and maybe this ZoomX foam plate, you're going to just begin cutting into the pod a lot more. And we can already see it very slightly on this end, that the pod is getting chipped away very slightly, but it hasn't been punctured, which is a good thing. And at that point in time, I mean, it's not going to bother me too much. It is just fun to assess that, you know, this is what it is, and we're just going to keep drilling into this. And I think we're going to run the shoe until I either pop the pod entirely, or if this pod isn't supported, as in like glued onto this nylon plate, but it's just pressurized in between the two, we're going to find out if maybe the pod just pops out first. My guess is Nike's probably glued it on. I wouldn't imagine they would just like leave something like this just like free balling in the shoe. Free balling. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. Of course, it still makes this loud clanky sound when I'm running with this shoe. And then there's some other things I do have some concerns with on this shoe in particular. Two of them, actually. So first and foremost, we'll discuss this right there. So if you've been following me on Strava, you would already know that basically I've been running in this shoe for the last 2 to 2.5 weeks straight without changing out any other shoes, without using the Hyperion Elites, without using the Peg Turbo 2s. And basically, yeah, I've just been having these tempo runs basically every single day, running anywhere from like a 620 to like a 550 pace average. And the concern with that is, well, maybe it's not a concern. Maybe the question for me is that just me being able to push a tempo pace regularly in this shoe? Or has my fitness just overall gotten to the point where running a 620 as an easy to like a moderate pace is just now the new norm for me? However, what I can confirm is that you can definitely have multiple tempo workouts reliably in this shoe so far, based on what I saw on my Strava, where if I can run anything from 620 to 550 average pace and still not really feel as beaten up, even though I am getting a lot more beaten up now, and maybe it's time to swap out the shoe just for a little bit. Basically, I do feel confident that this is a reliable speed shoe overall, which is great. That's probably why it's back in my lineup, and I'm happy to use it as both an everyday trainer and my tempo runner. So back to this forefoot area up here. Basically, when you're doing these tempo workouts every single day, your feet don't really get a break, and like I know my feet are pretty beaten up after these shoes. Both with like black toenails, some chipped toenails, one that might be like ready to come off on me. I don't think it will, but it's like pretty bad. Plus like really bloody toenails. Like there's some blood basically in this toe box area from basically just pounding fast paces every single day, having a strange lockdown, of course, in the Flyknit. The shoe will beat you up if you do plan on running tempo just about every single day in it. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm just a weak runner overall. Who knows? I'm not the judge of that, but yeah, it's time to give this shoe kind of a break and do a few more easy runs on like a Peg Turbo 2 or this new shoe that I've got coming in. It's coming in real hot, so you'll see those videos soon. But yeah, basically that was one of my other concerns. And then the third, maybe the second concern technically, is this like plastic caging in the midfoot area of the shoe, particularly in this right foot. Maybe again it's from wear and tear on my feet more than it is the shoe, but there are some tight, I would say tight, tense spots kind of in this upper area right here that when I loosen the shoe it does kind of subside, but then kind of comes back here and there. So it could be a way of maybe my right foot is just experiencing some swelling, maybe some minor adjustments in the way it's been seating in other shoes. So I kind of have to loosen the shoe just a little bit in order to basically give it some breathing room. But that's only been like the one major adjustment I had to make in this shoe since I bought it. Of course, those are some of the major concerns I had ultimately with the shoe. Of course, the best stuff with the shoe, like I said, is that you can run tempo pace basically every single day if you really choose to, and you've got the fitness for it. So, that being said, if you do follow me on Strava, and if you don't, you probably should, basically the last 2.5 weeks, I've seen people comment like, holy cow, you're basically running these paces every day, why aren't you slowing down? And I'm like, I don't know, like I feel very comfortable, very moderate, kind of like a hard effort that I'm enjoying basically in these shoes, and ultimately just, you know, I'm having a great time and I don't feel like running slow in these. And everyone already knows who owns this pair, they're like, running slow in this just makes it clanky, lunky, really heavy, just not pleasant to run in. But again, if you push the shoe will help carry you when it needs to, and that's ultimately what you're expecting from a tempo runner of this caliber. That's basically the training shoe to arguably one of the better carbon racers on the market. Do I have any other major thoughts about this shoe? I mean, I guess we can also get into the left foot here. So actually I do have some thoughts on this. So first and foremost, of course, as you see the bottom, like the bottoms look good. Again, as we've mentioned probably a dozen times on this channel, I have like a slight foot adjustment thing that's probably due to running on slanted concrete in the city for rainwater reasons. But like again, the shred on this shoe isn't all too bad, but I do have an interesting experience with this particular shoe, this left one. Whenever I'm running, like most people experience like this clanky running sound when they're in this shoe. For whatever reason, the right foot is very clanky and makes that loud bang sound that when you hit the ground. This one has like that sneaker rubbery sound when it hits the ground, and it sounds like I'm slipping constantly, but I'm not really, you know, slipping, of course. It's just, it has that weird sneaker squeaking sound, and I'm not sure if it's something within the pods, if it's just something on the rubber, maybe like the foot slightly shifts or like turns while it's directly on the concrete. It's hard to say, but if I do get a chance to film it, I definitely will in like an upcoming video. But it is awfully strange, and yeah, it's just bizarre that it doesn't really have that loud clink sound that the shoe has. It just has this squeak. Speaking of squeak, I guess what we can also assess is where the shoe shines the most. As you can probably imagine, it shines very much on the road. on some dirt trails if you're running on them. Gravel is kind of a hit or miss. You're not going to hurt yourself if you're running in gravel. You just probably won't get the full compression decompression experience that the shoe has to offer with it. In the rain, I thought that there was some slippage on this shoe, and I guess there is just a slight bit, but it's not detrimental in any way, in my opinion, because it looks like you can still push moderately fast paces while it's raining. It's not like you're completely slipping away like an Infinity React or maybe like a Peg Turbo that doesn't have these lugs, or in this particular case, this bottom unique lug setup that the shoe has, where you're totally slipping and you just can't get a grip on the ground. So as far as I'm concerned, the shoe is not bad in the rain in terms of impact and compression on the ground and slipping. Of course, the Flyknit is the big concern with the rain, because Flyknit does seem to absorb a little bit more water and make the shoe heavier than it needs to be. So you just got to be aware of that as you're going with it. But yeah, ultimately, I'm not too concerned with how it is in the rain, and ultimately, you can opt out of running in the rain with these shoes, so you don't have to make any major lug adjustments in that case. You just pick a shoe that's more durable, like, I don't know, like a Peg Turbo 2 is good in the rain, I thought, in terms of not absorbing on this upper mesh material. Do I have any other good rain shoes? I'm looking at my lineup. I mean, a lot of them are very breathable. I do have a shoe that's coming in that's going to be good for like rain and snow. If you can probably imagine already what it is, then you've probably just guessed and you probably already know. But anyways, yeah. So that's my thoughts at 100 plus miles, just some of my concerns. But overall, the shoe has just been awesome to run in for 2 straight weeks. Of course, running these tempo paces for 2 straight weeks is a real doozy, if you can imagine. It is very consistent when you want to go fast every single day. The shoe will carry you if you are willing to put in the effort and have the fitness for this particular shoe. It'd be probably good for me to take a step back from this shoe, run in something a little bit more like the Peg Turbo 2, maybe get back into the Infinity React once and for all, or start playing around with my new shoe, depending on how the weather goes. But yeah, ultimately, I need to confuse my Strava a little bit. And basically just kind of step back from the shoe and make Strava think that running 6-minute miles is not my usual cup of tea when I'm running. And then let's see, if this video gets 50 likes, I'll make a video of ASMR of my cat eating, and I'll use my my Yeti Blue X microphone while I do it. It'll be really sick, but we need 50 likes on this video, okay? And I think that's all I've got for now, in particular with this vlog. So thanks again for watching. If you liked the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Strava, follow me on Zwift, whatever social media platforms you have, Instagram, Facebook. Just go for it, man. Comment down below if you're having a similar experience with the shoe that I'm having, where it's beaten up right there, if not worse. Yeah, let's just bounce some ideas off the shoe. Let's get a discussion going on what we can make better. And why the ultimate solution to making this shoe better will be to release the Pegasus Turbo 3. That's just some of our opinions, though. Okay, anyways, that's enough for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again real soon.